In this video I'm going to talk about my morning routine for productivity and health at age 67, but applicable to anyone over 50 really, or anyone. If you're a regular viewer on this channel, you might be aware that about 10 years ago I had an epiphany, and it was just this revolutionary idea: what if I created a life I didn't want to escape from? And that idea set me on a path to improved health, and alongside that hopefully improved productivity. About 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, my wife often gets up before 6 a.m. I wasn't really a morning person for a long time, and perhaps I'm not a morning person now. My wife gets up often before 6 a.m. and she goes on a morning walk. This time of year she'll go out in the dark and she'll see the sunrise. It sounds fantastic. I'd love to do it, but I haven't got there yet. I discovered a while back a really good productivity hack. Over my lifetime I've written about 30 books, and you've probably never heard of any of them. Mostly on, used to write books on Christian faith, and then more recent years just life in general and stories of some of my adventures. So if people I know are thinking of writing a book, they often sort of ask me how I managed to do that. Most people would say, or there's a saying, isn't there, that everyone's got one book in them. So lots of people have had an idea for a book. It could be a novel, it could be anything, but they never got around to writing it. So here's a little hack I used to write my last 3 books. And surprisingly, this shocks people, but the last 2 were written entirely on my phone. The first draft was written on my phone, didn't sit at a desk. This is how I did it. So my productivity hack is this: that when my wife gets up and goes out, it tends to stir me, and that's not a bad thing. I like that because it just wakes me up perhaps a little bit previous. I don't do alarm clocks if I can help it. So it wakes me up a little bit earlier than I would normally wake up without that. So the first thing I do is go to the kitchen, get a decaf coffee. Don't do caffeine, don't need caffeine to wake me up. I can wake up quite naturally. I get a decaf coffee, get back into bed, and then instead of sort of scrolling all the social media and the rubbish on my phone that people waste time on, what I actually do is I open Google Docs, is what I've been using, just because it's on my phone, and then anything I write on my phone, when I'm on the desktop computer or the laptop, it's still accessible there. And whatever book I'm writing at the time, at the moment I'm writing a sort of memoir or an autobiography. Those are 2 slightly different things, but writing about my life anyway. And when people say, how do you write a book? How do you find the time? Here's the hack. If you write for 1 hour when you first wake up, just splurge it down, don't edit it, don't correct the spelling or anything like that, don't correct your facts, don't do research, but just splurge down your ideas. And I do one of 2 things: either write for an hour, or I write a chapter. If I feel like I've written a chapter, that's probably the first draft of a chapter, then I'll stop. After, and only after I've done that, I may just sketch down some ideas that have come to mind while I'm writing that chapter about subsequent chapters. So just for an hour, I write. And if you write an hour a day, and you can pull off creating a chapter of a book, if you write for about an hour, without editing, but you just splurge it down, you've probably got a chapter of a book. You may or may not use it, you may delete it, or you may polish it up and use it in the book. That's irrelevant. But after an hour you could have written a chapter of a book. If you do that for an hour a day for 30 days, I mean, you've got a book, 30 chapters. How many chapters do you want? If you want more, just carry it on into the next month. That is a sort of productivity hack. So before I've got out of bed, well, I got out of bed to make the coffee, but I got back in bed. Before I get up for the day, I've probably written a chapter of a book. If I don't have a book on the go, I sometimes use that time to write an outline or do some research for a YouTube video like this. So that's my little productivity hack for writing. And then get up, have a shower. Obviously, I make a smoothie. So 9 times out of 10, I have a smoothie for the day. And the smoothie includes various things. I've thought about all these things. They all hopefully do something. I don't know how much they do, but sort of listening to doctors and medical advice and health advice, this is where I've come to. But they do say, you know, eat more fruit and veg, don't they? And I'm not a great fruit and veg fan, so having it in a smoothie and getting it over with is best for me. So the ingredients would be things like beetroot, watermelon, put a chunk of cucumber in there, half a tomato, if I've got them, some strawberries. Always put a banana in, always want at least 1 banana a day. That's got potassium for the heart and stuff. It's very good for you. What else? I put a little sliver of fresh ginger, just to have some ginger root all the time, and just put a slice of that in. And try to avoid anything that's processed. This is all fresh fruit and veg, or frozen fruit and veg. The fruit changes sometimes, you know, if I've got blueberries instead of strawberries or raspberries, put them in. In the summer it's great because we just get raspberries out of our gardens. We don't even have to pay for the stuff. And then into that I also put a good glug, a tablespoonful of olive oil on top of that. And then sometimes I have a bottle of kefir, which has all the probiotics and prebiotics. I don't know what they all are, but it helps your microbiome in your stomach. It's very important for health. So just like a small cupful, maybe a quarter of a pint or something like that, maybe even less than that. And then the rest I fill up with coconut milk. I mean, there's a number 3 on my blend. I'm not sure what it is, 3 what, I have no idea. But it makes it probably makes about 1.5 pints of smoothie. I also take some supplements when I'm having the smoothie in the morning. So I have a little cod liver oil supplement. I read that most people in Europe and America are deficient in magnesium and zinc, and magnesium and vitamin D, and that can cause that can add to health problems. I know it causes them, but anyway, it can add to health problems. So I just top up the magnesium and vitamin D. Also take a zinc supplement. It's good for men of a certain age. Then I take a little capsule of vitamin K2, which is I don't know what the heck it is, but it just prevents if you're overdoing the magnesium, or if your body's got more magnesium than it can cope with. The K2 pushes the calcium from the magnesium. I don't understand all this, but this is why I take it. It pushes the calcium into your bones rather than into your kidneys, so you don't get kidney stones. Then I take something, is it called ashwagandha? Some weird supplement, but anyway, that's supposed to be really good for well-being. And I have to say, over a period of years I've been doing this, and I've tweaked the fruit and veg, what I put in it, and I've also tweaked what I put in the smoothie, and then I've tweaked what supplements I take. You don't want to take too many supplements, otherwise they're going to start fighting each other. But that's what I'm taking at the minute. Yeah, I've definitely felt a sense of well-being starting the day like that. I read a book years ago called Golden Apples. The Irish bloke who used to take a smoothie every morning. He talked about getting the happy chappies into your system, and I know what he means. You got to get the good stuff in. So In addition to all of that, I really avoid processed food and ultra processed food. I just try to have nothing to do with that. Never buy sort of stuff that you can just fling in the microwave. Avoid that at all costs. So if we're having a meal, I will make it from scratch. I do most of the cooking in our house. Not all the cooking, but I do most of the cooking. I just like to get the ingredients for what I'm doing, make it from scratch, so at least I've got some control. Once you put in, you know, when we stray into the area, we sometimes do, of putting sauces that you get out of a jar in there. You've got all sorts of preservatives and chemicals, and I don't know how they allow them, because what they call vegetable oils are actually seed oils, and they're horrendous for the human body just because they're just so over processed. Whereas olive oil is just pressed olives. Vegetable oil, which was initially sort of sold to us as a health thing, is, you know, it's so over processed, heated over and over and over again. It's got all sorts of nasties in there, and so I tend to avoid that like the plague. I also avoid bread. We have had some bread this week, but I very rarely eat bread, and certainly try to avoid bread from the supermarket, because that's got all sorts of chemicals and preservatives in that I think are what's damaging the human body. That's why people my age get sick, I think. They've just got so many of these chemicals in the body, and they're lacking certain nutrients that they need. Before I started having the smoothie, the first step I took when I was just trying to improve my health was I used to have oatmeal porridge in the morning with a banana and a bit of honey, and I did that for many years, and that was good. There was definite improvement, and I still do that some days, especially when it's a cold morning. But mostly I start with a fruit smoothie, and it's difficult for me to imagine a day where I don't have a fruit and veg smoothie. If I don't have it at breakfast, I try and have it for lunch, but there are some days I miss it. So that's how I start my day for productivity and health. What's your morning routine? Leave a comment in the comments section below, and I'm open to new ideas. If you've got some whizzo idea or something you've been doing for a while and it's giving you health benefits, then leave a comment, share with us, let us know, and we'll try and make each other healthy. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, hit that red subscribe button and the bell icon. You get notifications of new videos, and I shall see you in the next video.